miss a story, live, or when you want, San Antonio's latest news and weather, streaming free on KSAT TV.
That's all our time for now. Oh, look at there. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Was that the dog that was
He
barking?
wanted to be on TV so bad.
Okay, well, there she is.
Yes.
We met her earlier, I think. All right. Speaking of meeting
My
somebody,
pound puppy.
we're going to meet Mike downtown. I think it's just the Mike and Mike show, which means more food for Mike. SA Live starts right
now.
Yeah.
Celebrate San Antonio. Coming to you live from historic Market Square. This is SA Live.
And hello and happy Monday. Okay, you got it. This is something just to make you smile. This trio of otters just scooching along, sliding across a frozen pond, just having a whole bunch of fun. Of course, that's not here, but hey, with the wintry weather we've been having, it could be possible. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Monday. And yes, David is right. It is all me today. More food for me. Fiona and Jen are both off today. And of course, it is cold outside. It is not raining, but we want to ask you, what do you like to do in the cold weather? A lot of people like to jog in the cold weather, maybe work outside. I took all my Christmas decorations down on Saturday. It wasn't quite this cold, but it was perfect weather for it instead of warm and humid like it sometimes is. So let us know what you like to do in this cold weather. Maybe it's just throw an extra blanket on in front of the fire and just kind of snuggle down. So let us know on Facebook and Twitter, and hopefully you see some of your responses a little bit later on in the show. One thing cold days like this is to eat something nice and warm and good, and to make it easy. And also, maybe you got one of those new kitchen gadgets like an air fryer for Christmas. There's a lot of things that you can do in it, including cook beef. And Shailene McNeil, registered dietitian with Beef Lovin' Texans, is joining us. So good to see you. Happy New Year.
Good to see you. Happy New Year to you, too.
Okay, I did not know that you can do beef in an air fryer.
You sure can. And our experts at Beef Loving Texans have been studying this up and making sure that we're giving you the right temperatures and cooking methods. So we're really excited to show you this recipe today because we're going to do a ginger sesame beef with spicy green beans, and it's delicious and so easy, Mike.
And the smells and the aromas coming off this are fantastic. And once again, this is one of those where the cut of meat is usually what we use for fajitas.
Yeah, we're going to use a skirt steak, and we know Texas here, we know skirt steaks for fajitas. But we're going to actually do this for our steak strips, and I want to show you some tips. The skirt steak is a little bit less tender, and we want to make it really tender in that air fryer. So just by using a cutting method, as well as a marinade, we're going to get it nice and tender. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut my skirt strip in half, and do you see how all these muscles are running this direction? We're going to turn it so when we cut these thin little strips, we're going across the grain. And so now we have nice little bite-sized pieces that are going to be wonderful and chewy. Now, while I'm cutting up this steak, if you want to help me make a marinade, because that's the other thing that we're going to do to help keep it tender, you're adding in a little bit of soy sauce, rice vinegar, sesame oil, vegetable oil, and then you're going to add some garlic powder and ginger and a little bit of brown sugar. You're going to mix all that together.
How long do you marinate, and what's the longest you can marinate, I guess you can say?
A minimum of about 30 minutes. Put it back in the fridge. When you marinate it, for best food safety practices, put it back in the fridge. But I like doing it overnight because I'll get this prepped up before I head to bed, and then the next day when I come home tired from work, it's ready to go, and it's really easy.
Now we're marinating both the meat and the vegetables. Can you do them both overnight? Can you do the vegetables overnight?
Absolutely, you sure can. These are fresh green beans that we're going to do. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my steak strips and I'm putting them in a little zip top bag. You're going to do this double duty marinade. Our air fryer is coming out. We're going to get to taste that. Put half in this with our steak strips, and then put half in with these fresh green beans. And what we're going to do is we're taking that marinade, and to keep it kind of interesting, it's the same marinade, but then I'm going to take some sesame seeds, toasted sesame seeds, and I'm going to add that to the beef. That looks really pretty too. And then you're going to add some crushed red pepper to your marinade and your green beans. And then you just kind of shake it up, get that nice coated marinade across. Then you'll follow your instructions on your air fryer because they're all a little bit different. But for the most part, Mike, what we're looking for is we want our air fryer to be about 400 degrees. I've already had this one going. And we're going to do this about 4 minutes and then turn it, check it and toss it around, and then do 4 minutes on the other side.
And the one thing you wanted to emphasize is, since they are all different and they all have instructions, but Beef Loving Texans has, you said, triple checked all the recipes.
Triple checked our recipes for your best beef experience. Because, you know, air fryers aren't necessarily the beef experts.
Right.
We're the beef experts. So we go ahead and triple test these recipes and make sure. And on Beef Loving Texans, we have instructions for maybe you have a double rack air fryer. So a little bit of a different way to vary it up so you can get that best beef experience. Look how delicious that is.
Oh my goodness.
You're not adding any extra oil. Beef, as you know, is loaded with protein, iron, and zinc. It's so flavorful, so you don't need to add a lot of extra
And you
fat.
said the other thing good with that air fryer is for even lean cuts, because a lot of times they can dry out very easily because of the lack of fat in there.
Yeah.
And this is going to do that.
We did that marinade, kept it nice and juicy. We didn't add any extra fat. And we have this delicious sesame Chinese dish. Come on, dig in there. It's still, here I have.
Let me reach over
Pass
here.
it over
and
there
I'm gonna
too.
try it. Oops.
Yeah.
It's a big piece, but
Hopefully it's not too hot. Great flavor. Quicker than you can do for takeout. You know, by the time you go stand in line and wait for picking up takeout, you can have this at home. I love it because it's easy cleanup, one pot cleanup. So just something easy to do. We're trying to eat healthier. We want flavor. Beef
and the
Loving
great thing is,
Texans.
if you marinate this the night before, you can come home. If you want to microwave some rice, get one of those packets, and this is going to be done in what, 15 minutes?
Oh, 15 minutes. You've got dinner, easy cleanup. You've got a well-balanced meal. You know, I'm a dietitian, so I always like to think about the nutrition side of it too. You've got a really colorful plate, well-balanced meal, satisfying. Couldn't ask for anything more.
All these great recipes and all the great tips are on our website, and there's a link to Beef Loving Texans. Just go to SALive.com and click on the As Seen on SA Live tab. Oh, that is delicious, Shailene. As
Yummy,
always,
so flavorful.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, well, winter weather has definitely blown on in here, and you don't want the colder temperatures, you know, to kind of freeze you out when you're getting outside to work out and everything like that, but you want to have the proper gear. And lifestyle and fashion expert John Salas has some winter workout essentials. Take a look.
Hello SA Live friends, it's your pal John Salas here to tell you the best workout essentials for when temperatures drop. So the first thing we need for a successful outdoor workout when it's cold outside are compression pieces. So we need the compressed thermals and the compressed leggings. And why compress, you ask? Because they don't just make us look cool with all the fitted effects that they do, but they actually squeeze us just the right amount to keep our circulation flowing, which is what ends up heating us up while we're working out outside. Now, things to avoid is you don't want cotton and you don't want wool, because after a while, once you've been sweating, that will actually work down against you because you'll cool down and you'll have that water kind of dripping in storage there, and you'll actually feel much colder, which can lead to a whole bunch of negative effects. So you want to avoid those fabrics. Now, for those of you who don't want to brave outside, maybe it's raining and it's really windy and cold, you know, there are leggings with weighted bands. So that's also an option. You know, you can squeeze in your workout while you're at home and, you know, get that step in. So that's another hack around it. Another thing we need when we're working out outside are the jackets, or the tops. You know, we need to bundle up. But I always tell people, it's like, don't go puffy, stay away from that. It's about looking cool and staying warm, not about looking like an abominable snowman. So I like these by Decathlon. These are fitted hoodies, which simply, you know, they're compressed, they're down, they're super easy to wash. Again, they're very slim. You just need to find the right technology and the right fabric that is moisture wicking so you don't get that sweat buildup in the end. So again, avoid puffy, you want to be compressed. And other things that I love, you know, under our mat, on top of our mask, probably is always great, are gaiters. These I used to use pre-pandemic for when it was cold to wrap up the head, but now you can put them on top of your mask and wrap up your mouth as well, and it's a great to keep and stay very warm. So gaiters are a must during winter season. Another workout essential, if you're anything like me, is that you're gonna get cold from your hands and your feet, so you need to start off with a good pair of gloves. And the same thing I was telling you over here, you wanna make sure they're not cotton and they're not wool, because that's gonna get that moisture buildup and then you're gonna feel colder rather than warmer. So look for a good pair of synthetic gloves. I like Raytheon as a material. That's a quick way to keep you warm. But also look for them to have grip and to be tactile gloves, because this is what's gonna allow you to still use your phone while you're on the go. And there's nothing worse than a workout killer, such as having to take off your gloves and put them back on for just to send a text message, or even something so simple as just to change the song. So look for tactile gloves. That'll save you a headache. And another headache saver is a good pair of kicks. And what I always tell folks is, don't look at the top, look at the bottom. You want to make sure that you have texture and grip all around the surfaces, because this is what's going to allow you to transition from concrete to maybe some softer grass surfaces, or maybe to a pothole or a puddle. You want to be able to navigate everything smoothly without feeling it on your feet, which then makes you feel it all over your body. So make sure you have a good grip, and also make sure that your shoe has a good spring, because that's what's going to make it feel very seamless as you're working out outside. So good kicks are a must. And if you're anything like me, music is also a key important part of any workout. So, but you know, how do you know which earbuds you get? So I always tell folks, you want to look for earbuds that clip on or kind of like sit in there, that have a little bit of a sturdy hold, and not just earbuds that you just insert in that are easy to pop out. Because what's going to happen as you're moving, whether you're crossfitting, lifting things, or you're stepping and you maybe do a big jump, what's going to happen is that they might pop out, and there's nothing even worse than a workout killer than having to go reach and find that earbud wherever it went. So look for a good pair of buds that actually clip on or sit in there, and that will ensure that you have a successful workout outside. For these and more tips, follow me on Instagram at HelloSalas, or check me out at johnsalas.com.
Getting fit with your furry friends, how you can make sure your workout buddy's ready for their runs, and don't pull on that leash. It is great advice for pet parents. But first, can you balance nearly a dozen screws on just one? Our mad scientist is back for the new year with some new ways to talk about the laws of gravity. Welcome back, everyone. Well, it is the law that we all have to obey, because otherwise you might fall over. And the law of gravity we're talking about here to tell us more about that is our favorite mad scientist, Andrea Cook, mad science, Austin, San Antonio. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So,
Happy
law
New
of gravity,
Year.
right?
Yes. So we are going to be doing some center of gravity games. All right. So like the rest of the world, mad science has gone virtual for a lot of programming. So we send supply bags to our kiddos, and go into your supply bag, please, sir, and find your dowel rod, fancy word for stick. Okay. And I want you to find the center of gravity, so the balancing point. Okay. So you instinctively went toward the middle. You can do one finger, you can do two if that makes it easier. So gravity, the force that's pulling things down, and you got to think how everything has mass. Okay. And the mass is like the amount of stuff that makes up an object. So we both went to the middle, so we got the same amount of wood on either side. Okay. But what if we change the mass? So go back into your supply bag and get a glob of dough and just stick it on one end. Okay. So you have to go closer to the end because you've got that extra mass. All right, excellent job. Now, we're gonna put this aside because we're gonna move briskly. And I'm going to ask you to go into your bag and get out your gravity game.
This is fun having these little bags of everything.
Yeah, so. We send supplies for our programming. So I've kind of prepped it for you. You want to find your blue pyramid, and you stick it there. Then there are oddly shaped objects to challenge the scientists to see they can find the center of gravity. You can use marshmallow or corks, whatever you have more of at your home. And I have pipe cleaners, or as they're called, Chanel strips.
I've never heard that before.
That's the fancy term. And you want to put them into your marshmallow.
Yeah, okay.
Or, like I said, your cork. And try to make them even, so gravity is pulling on them the same size, same shape. And see if you can get it to balance on your finger. Oh, mine's stuck to my finger. Sugar! The science of sugar.
Okay.
So you can do that.
I don't know if it's balancing or just kind of sitting there.
Oh, well, you could try it on the top of your bolt, your carriage bolt. And then you can add more mass by adding, I have little metal washers at the bottom.
So what does it do to add more mass to the bottom?
It's going to change the way gravity is pulling on it. The more mass you have, the stronger the pull. Okay. Yes, I did do this beforehand just to make sure I could get it perfect. It's not called cheating, it's called being prepared.
It's called being prepared, yes indeed.
That's right. So some objects, you did it. Not that I'm surprised. I believe in you. So you may think, of course, Matt Andrea, we can figure this out. I hope that you can, but what's challenging is to keep moving on from basic shapes to something more complicated. You could also try to balance it on things other than your finger, the top of a pencil, on the edge of a cup, your pyramid. But because we are senior scientists, and I mean that in the nicest way possible, I would like to challenge you to take all of those metal carriage bolts and find the center of gravity for them on top of that one bolt right in front of you?
I have seen this before, I think.
Using
and
previous knowledge?
Yes.
Okay.
It is, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do like this.
So what are you doing there?
I'm evening it out, so I'm going to balance the bolts on either side of the one bolt, I think. Something like that, and so therefore it's going to be balanced. The center of gravity will balance across the bolts. Ahaha! I did it.
Get it on there.
And
It's the release that's the hardest part.
yes. And if you like,
Yes. Now, to say congratulations, grab your alien antenna
Yes.
and find the center of gravity. Now we look adorable.
on my noggin. And on this note, if you'd like more information about Mad Science Austin San Antonio, go to our website, salive.com, and click on the As Seen on SA Live tab. Now, if you can make it spin around your head, then you're really good.
Or you just
Here we go.
rotate.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Andrew, as always.
Thank you.
Still ahead on SA Live, it could be your new best friend in the kitchen. Moms and dads, the tool making dinner time a breeze, saving you time and money. And next, can you teach an old human new tricks? The important thing you need to do before you and your furry friend go for a run, that's straight ahead.
Welcome back to SA Live. Well, you might be surprised how much our furry friends can help with our own physical activities. They get the kids outside, they get you outside, and so it's very important to make sure that they keep up with their own furry activity, I guess you could say.
Yes, indeed. And Stephanie Garza, who is a certified dog trainer and owner of Pup and Away, is here to teach us about how to get active and fit with your friends, and also how to get ready to get fit with them, right? Because people stretch out. I didn't realize dogs have to stretch.
Absolutely. Our dogs spend the majority of the day laying down, and so when we're about to go for a vigorous exercise, it's really important to prime their bodies as well. So Sully and I are going to show you guys just a few exercises that you guys can do with your pets at home. If this is the first time you're doing this with your dogs, I definitely recommend having some of their favorite treats around. And to help your back out in this moment, we are also going to utilize a chair. So we're going to stretch out Sully's neck first. So I'm going to prime him right here into the middle, and I'm going to hold on to a harness or a collar, stick a treat right here in front of his nose, and I'm going to lower that treat over to the side so we nicely stretch out this neck laterally. We want to do both sides, and you might want to spend about 2 to 3 reps on each one.
I never thought about stretching their necks.
No.
Right? They look around a lot when they're sniffing. They sniff up, they sniff down.
Won't dogs, though, not do something they don't want to do? Unlike humans, we'll push ourselves until we, pull a muscle or something like that. Won't they just kind of go, forget it?
You would be pretty surprised. Your dogs definitely want to follow you, and they will push themselves to the limit. They have a very high pain tolerance, especially when they're out and about in the wild and running around, and there's lots of interesting things. Their adrenaline's running at the same time, so they still definitely will push themselves past some limits as well. So it's important to make sure that we're making sure that all of their bodies and their muscles are nice and primed. So right now we're stretching out his back, stretching out some of the lower quads as well.
Now, you don't have to do this every time you just go for a walk around the block.
No, if your dog is definitely used to just a regular walk around the block, I definitely don't think you need to do anything like that. But this is definitely if you're going to go for a run and your dog might not be used to running, or you're going to go for a hike, especially if the hike's going to have some uneven surfaces. Definitely good to prime up those different muscle parts as well.
And Sully's so good on the leash. Do you have any tips for, I have 3 schnauzers, by the way. I wish I would have brought them, but they are not good on the leash. I need some tips for leash training.
Sure. So the biggest thing about leash training is definitely the pulling. So the one thing that I like to utilize whenever we're doing and training some loose leash walking is to utilize a turn signal, because dogs pull because it works for them. If we're constantly moving into the direction that they're pulling towards, they want to keep pulling, and it's a reinforced behavior. So we're going to work on a turn signal. So for me and Sully, our turn signal is this way. So in order to teach that, this way, bring your piece of food down and you're just gonna lure him over. I definitely recommend doing this first inside the house, this way. Bring down that distraction level, build up that reward history, and for him to realize that there is a consequence to you saying, this way means I'm going to change a direction. this way.
Now, when you talked about the reward, if you give a dog a treat every time they do something, won't they just expect that all the time and go, oh, I'm not doing it unless I get a treat?
It depends. So in the very beginning, when we're first teaching a behavior, we definitely want to build up that reward history and let our dogs know it's worth it for me to listen to mom and dad and not pay attention to that squirrel or whatever it is. And as they get better at it and as we start to elevate the distraction level, we start to easily wean off the food. There's lots of different ways that we can do that. First, having a treat pouch. You're not always constantly carrying food in your hands, and then we can move on from there.
All right, and if you have a chubby pet that you want to keep them active, you have some tips, right, for diet and then to keep them moving?
Yeah, start off slow, just like we start off very easily with walks before we do the marathon. Start off slow with them. But as far as foods, keep it simple. Talk to your vet. The foods to stay away from, different things like carbs. So don't be feeding your dogs your bread bowls or your pastas or anything like that.
None of that.
None of that stuff. The delicious stuff is for y'all. Yeah.
And if people want lessons and a professional trainer, you come to the house too, right?
Yes, I do in-home private lessons as well as lessons at the facility, and then we also have group classes.
Okay, and you're not only teaching the dog, you're teaching the people too.
A lot of it is teaching the humans. Most of it's teaching the humans. I like to teach you guys because y'all are the ones that are going to be carrying out all the different things when you guys are at home.
Easier to teach a person or a dog?
Definitely easier to teach the dog.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, one is coming. If you'd like more information on Pup and Away and maybe get some lessons for you, and you did very well, by the way.
Good, Shani.
Yeah, so head on over to SALive.com and click on the As Seen on SA Live tab. Thank you. Still ahead on SA Live, getting ready for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We're playing a game that might reveal some things you didn't know about this national holiday. And next, one kitchen tool, so many different dinner options. We're getting some expert help on how to get the most out of your Instant Pot and also save time and save money. Delicious recipes coming up. And see if you can guess the celebrity. The answer is after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SA Live. Well, on this Monday, we are learning about that Instant Pot. Maybe you got one for Christmas. I've had one for a couple of years. I love them, but some great meals that you can cook in there. And we are getting advice from the expert herself, the supermom, Erin Chase. She has 439,000 followers on Facebook, 29,000 Instagram, and her meals made easy on a budget mentality is helping families stick to their budgets, enjoy good, wholesome, well-balanced meals. She joins us via Zoom. How are you, Erin? Good to see you.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. All right, we are making a big meal in one pot, right?
We are. We're going to do a pot in pot, which is very simple. It might sound like a lot if you're just starting, but I promise it's not. We're going to cook the broccoli and the salmon together in the Instant Pot at the same time.
Okay.
So to get started, I know, Mike, you're cooking with me. We're doing the same thing here. This is so fun. So the first thing we need to do is add 1 cup of water into the base of the Instant Pot. Okay. Mm-hmm. You also need to have your rack. This comes with the Instant Pot. Okay. So this is one of those accessories for the appliance that you need to have. So you're going to want to put that in. And the salmon, I see your salmon's already there. Your salmon is going to sit on top of that. So after that, we're going to add, not to the salmon yet, we're going to add about a tablespoon or 2 of lemon juice into the Instant Pot. We want that water to be nice and lemony as it steams and cooks the salmon. From there, now we can put the salmon into the Instant Pot.
Okay.
You can add the lemon juice now. You can do that. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll put the rack in there. There we go. And
yeah, put the rack in. Also, real quick tip, when you're doing salmon from the store, ask the ladies and gentlemen behind the seafood counter to cut it into meal-sized portions for you. It just makes it a lot easier both to get it and fit it into your Instant Pot. And then when it's done cooking, you have it ready just to put onto your plate.
Yeah, and
next we're going to
we've always found about a quarter pound of salmon is a great portion for dinner, so.
Yes, exactly. 4 ounces a piece. Next, we're going to do lemon juice and salt and pepper directly onto the salmon flesh. If it a little bit gets into the water below, that's fine. A pinch of salt and pepper. Mm-hmm. And then chopped fresh dill is a great option to add here. You just run your knife. I think you can see this here. Just run your knife through some fresh dill and sprinkle it right on top. Last, before we start this, we're going to take fresh broccoli florets and wrap them in foil. The foil needs to be, large enough to wrap around it.
Okay.
Right? So we're wrapping around it, and do your best to kind of seal it off. It doesn't have to be perfect. The broccoli will release a little bit. This is going to set right on top. This is your what's called pot in pot, because we're going to cook the salmon together with the broccoli all in the same. So put the lid on, and then I'm doing my backwards, and then set the seal where it says sealing. There's venting and sealing. Set it to sealing on top. And then you're going to do high pressure for 2 minutes. Okay. So set it on high for 2 minutes. Every electric pressure cooker is slightly different. So 2 minutes is all this takes. And then you're going to let it naturally release for at least 5 minutes. So part of the cooking is coming to pressure, the 2-minute cooking cycle, and then a few minutes afterwards, letting it come to pressure. And then the salmon will be essentially steamed perfectly along with the broccoli.
Erin, thank you. We are going to let this cook because it takes a little while to get up to pressure here. I know you've got just tons of other great recipes on there. And for a link to Erin's recipe, just go to our website, salive.com, and click on the As Seen on SA Live tab. Thank you so much. Nice chatting with you, Erin, and I can't wait for lunch. All right, coming up, we are going to find out about MLK Day coming up this Monday. Some great trivia questions you may or may not know. Stick around for that. Welcome back, everyone. Of course, there's the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial there in Washington, D.C. Beautiful shot of that. And like so many cities, the MLK March a week from today here in San Antonio is going to be virtual. Of course, folks are going to have to come up with other ways for remembrance and to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And how about some trivia about the holiday? Very interesting. First of all, how many U.S. holidays have honored a single person? MLK Day, Columbus Day, and President's Day, which used to be Washington's birthday. So 3. I got the President's Day. I forgot about the Columbus Day one. Okay, did you get that one? Next, which president signed MLK Day into law? Was it Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, or George H.W. Bush? I think I remember this one. It is C. Yes, Ronald Reagan. He signed it in 1983, and the first official MLK Day was 1986. Okay, what year did all 50 states finally recognize the MLK Day name, the holiday by name? Was it 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020? I believe it was 2000, my guess. Lucky guess. Utah was the last state to recognize MLK Day. Before that, it was called Human Rights Day. The NFL moved the Super Bowl from this state after the governor rescinded MLK Day. Was it Arizona, Florida, Texas, or Missouri? I remember this one. It was A. Yep, and it was moved to Pasadena, California. And by the way, Super Bowl was won by the Cowboys that year. And finally, MLK Day is observed by groups in how many other nations? 1, 5, 200, or more than 100? I'll go for broke, say more than 100. Hey, got that one right. Okay. So just some interesting facts. And of course, we're going to have a whole lot more, especially next Monday on MLK Day. Just a few little trivia facts there. Hope you learned something there, folks. All right, next on SA Live. Oh, great. Just when we thought 2021 was going to be different, the snakes are back. Yay. We meet some scaly friends and where you can find a different type of pet looking for a forever home.
Have we got deals for you? Welcome to KSATdeals.com. Now, your dentist and your teeth are going to love you for this next product. It is an electric toothbrush, the Aquasonic Black Series toothbrush and travel case. Now, this toothbrush removes 10 times more plaque than your regular toothbrush. How do you ask? Listen to this. This is the sound of 40,000 vibrations per minute. You can customize your brushing experience with 4 modes: clean, soft, whiten, and massage. Now there's a timer on here to let you know when to brush a new area. You can take this anywhere with you. It comes with a hardcover travel case and 8 brush heads. Now give those pearly whites the TLC they deserve. So the retail price for this is $99, but the Case That Deals price, $39.99. That's a 59% discount. You can head over to CaseThatDeals.com to find this one and many other deals.
Welcome back to SA Live. Well, of course, we love to show you furry friends in need of a good home, but there's also some sweet, scaly friends, yes indeed, that could also use your love.
Holly Fletcher, owner of Fletcher Reptile and Bird Rescue, joins us with some different kind of cute critters that, you know, are looking for a forever home, right?
They are very unique. So.
And like you said, yes, even though they are not the fuzzy kind, they are sweet as can be, right?
They are very adorable. A lot of people get, afraid of these guys, and these guys are very harmless.
Okay. We'll start off with Reba.
Reba, after my favorite singer, Reba McEntire, because she's a redhead. This is Reba. Reba is a cherry head redfoot. Okay. She will be the size of a watermelon, like a big oval watermelon.
Wow.
So she is about, I want to say about 4 or 5 years old.
And they live a long time too, right?
They do. She lives about 90 years. Yes. So, yeah, I've got some wills for these guys.
I was going to say, yeah, because that's one thing you need to know if you're going to take care of a tortoise, right?
Right,
they're
exactly.
Probably going to outlive you.
Yeah. With them, they actually have these spurs on their feet, on their legs, and when she tucks in, she'll put them in front of her as a shield.
Interesting.
So,
okay. Yeah. All right, the next ones. Can you pronounce the name?
They're Uromastyx.
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 Okay.
They are Saharan Uromastyx to be really correct. So there's 2 different kinds. I think there's 4 altogether, but I've got, this is Duke. Duke is a red Saharan Uromastyx. The difference between him and Dixie here is she's a yellow, but the females will have, I don't know if you can see that, they're kind of wiggly. They have a lighter colored bottom than the boys do. The boys have to show off more than the girls. Okay. So these guys, they have to have temperatures of 100 to 110.
So if you're going to get one of those, you have to not only provide love and affection, but the proper facility for it, like a heating lamp or something too.
They love heat. These guys, I mean, when we're dying out in 100-degree weather, they're just soaking
it up. So right now they're wondering, what on earth is going on?
Exactly.
I want to go back to bed. Give me the blanket.
These guys actually are the colors they are because of the sand that they live in. They actually camouflage to the sand that they live in. So they're these guys will live obviously in the red, orange sand.
Last but certainly not least, one of my all-time favorites, a snake.
This is Juju. Juju is a Western hognose. He is full grown. He's about 5 years old. Non-venomous. They do get the report, saying that, oh, they're venomous. They're not.
They're not. You hear that, Mike? They are not.
They are not venomous.
I don't care. It's a snake.
What you see, he's actually shedding, so he's got caps over his eyes, and that tells me that he is extra hungry, and that he is sometimes moody. So.
That's it. Mike's going to exit stage right.
But
hungry and moody snake is not a snake Mike wants to be by.
They're the most gentle snake. The females can get at least twice their size. They have live bearers, so they need the room to have them.
And these are your educational animals,
these are
but
my
you rescue animals, and even though you don't have any up for adoption right now, you do adopt out, right?
I do, and it is hard right now. We do have a different way of doing the adoption. So when you get a hold of us for adoptions, we will have these guys outside, and we will do our 6 feet with the masks, all that stuff. Papers will already be on the table. There won't be any handing off of anything. And the events that we have too, unfortunately, these guys cannot be touched because it is, a health risk for us. And it's hard because people can't, see if they match with these guys.
Right.
And it's hard for me because, a lot of these guys don't get adopted because they can't be held.
Right.
So, I mean, it's hard for everybody. So, but we do adopt out a lot of these guys, and a lot of these guys don't get adopted because of situation.
And if people are interested in the future, they can always kind of keep in touch with you to see what's going to be coming up.
Yes, we have a website that'll be on there. on your guys' website, and just email us and find out when we're having our events.
Wonderful.
All right. Holly Fletcher, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for bringing those guys.
No problem. I make sure to keep the snake away from you next time.
Thank you. Like she said.
All right, for more information on the Fletcher Reptile and Bird Rescue, just head to our website, salive.com, and click on the As Seen on SA Live tab.
Tomorrow on SA Live, looking to try some new places this year where you can find this amazing comfort food and a new spot for brunch. Love brunch. Plus, kick off your New Year diet with a juice cleanse from a local juicery. On a cold day like this, I like to just stay bundled up under the covers watching SA Live. Clarissa, after our heart, stay inside. Good idea, Paula. Snuggle, watch movies, and snack. Yes, indeed, Mary Jane. And long walks in the snow. Just got back from Colorado. Oh my gosh, that looks so beautiful. You had to go up North Austin to find that snow. Big pot of menudo right now. Next cold snap. Okay, Aaron Chase's dinners. We did the salmon and the broccoli in the Instant Pot. I'm going to get this out of here without burning my fingers. And look at those perfect pieces of salmon. I wonder if I can pick this up right here. Cooked, looks like to perfection. We've got our broccoli all in one pot. It took some time to get up to temperature, but then 2 minutes to cook, 5 minutes to kind of release. And let me get a look at how flaky and tender that salmon is. Okay, that is wonderful. All this in one pot like that, one pot to clean up. All the recipes on our website.